Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a look at the new Thermaltake View 270 TG ARGB. This is a ATX or EATX case, which is available in a range of 4 colours: black, white, matcha, and also the new Hydrangea Blue to celebrate Thermaltake's 25th anniversary. Comes in at a size of 456 by 230 by 454, so nice and actually compact for what is an ETX case. Also weighs in at 6.3 kilograms. Now, for those who are wondering, straight after the bat, CPU wise, you can get a CPU cooler in here of up to 180 millimeters. Graphics cards, you can get a whopping great graphics card in here, up to 420 millimeters in length, and power supplies of up to 220 millimeters. Potentially even longer if you remove the included drive tray. So this is one of the cases I've actually been really looking forward to looking at from Thermaltake. It's a little bit of a change again from their kind of usual designs, and if you've seen previous reviews on the channel, such as the Series 500, the 300, 330, etc., I actually like this, that they're going for more of that kind of very popular fish tank type of look. The name in itself says it all, the View 270, so you've got 270 degrees of view available from both of the tempered glass side panels. This case is designed pretty much to be entirely toolless and comes with some nice features such as USB Type-C, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and also comes included with one of their fantastic CT140 ARGB fans. I think this is actually a good choice, just installing the one fan. This helps bring costs down, and also if for some reason you don't want to use that fan, you want to use your own fans, then it's very easy to take it out and it's not taking up a huge amount of the budget. Talking of budget, this is available at the moment in the UK for somewhere in the region of about £75 to £80, depending on where you're shopping, and potentially you may see further discounts elsewhere. Also, if you are looking at going in with some of the other colours in the range, such as the Matcha or the Hydrangea Blue, Thermaltake have a whole range of accessories now, fans, coolers, etc., which will fit in with your build. So if you want to go for something a little bit different, you certainly can do. Or if you want to go for black or white, there's always going to be components to match with it. So in today's video, I'm going to go through, do a quick teardown of the case, see what it's all about, and I'll give you my final thoughts on it. This is actually going to end up being replacing the Series 500, which is behind me. So this is going to be our streaming rig. We will be doing a full build in this in one of our live streams, which you're more than welcome to join. If you want to be notified of those, you're going to have to be subscribed to the channel, and that way you'll get notifications on a daily basis, and also on a weekend when we do our live stream. So let's do a quick tour of the case. So front panel, tempered glass side panel with a white surround on it, which is nice to see. Also full ventilation on this bottom section, so really nice tight mesh on there, which is going to let air through but not a great deal of dust, which is obviously beneficial. And also there's a nice little Thermaltake logo down in the bottom. This bottom section is actually removable, only 6 screws, 3 on the bottom, 3 on the side if you want to take it out. And the glass panel, very easy to remove, just a completely toolless design. Little latch in here, pull this out, and the glass pops out. It's held in on a ledge. You can remove the glass out of the way. The glass on the white version is completely clear. The others may have a very slight tint to them. Now traditionally we'd go straight ahead and look inside, but actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this additional side panel. So this side panel, exactly the same, just nice and easy, just pops out. So just pull the front, and again it's on a ledge, and again completely transparent. So this gives us a really nice view, hence the name of the case, so we can see exactly what's going on here. So we'll start at the bottom. So at the bottom, we've got loads of ventilation here, and also there's a nice little pass through there. So if you've got a slightly longer graphics card, you can pass through your PCI Express or your new type power connectors through this little hole there to plug into the graphics card to make cable management a little bit easier. You can, if you want to, actually install 3 fans on this top section, or potentially 2. I think that's really nice that they've put this little hole here slightly offset. So if you just want to put 2 fans underneath your graphics card blowing straight into it, you can do. Or if you want to put that 3rd fan, it will block this bit off, but it will give a nice bit of symmetry to the design. Also at the back, when it comes to passing through cables, when you're doing your cable management, got some really nice open channels here for allowing the cables to go through, as you've got on the side as well to pass through things like your USB 3.0 and your main 24-pin ATX power connector. All of the standoffs are installed from the factory, so all 9 are in place for your standard ATX fitment and potentially EATX as well. And also the central one has a locating lug as well, so you know when your motherboard's in there and it's going to fit perfectly. At the top of the case, we've also got some pass-throughs for the EPS connection, or if you're putting a radiator, that sort of stuff, and fans, you can pass your cables through nice and easily there, as you can on the sides. Would have been nice to have seen some rubber grommets on there. It's not the end of the world, but I think it would have been nice as a little bit of an extra just to include some grommets in there. Just to the right of that, we've got some fan mounts here, so you can put two 120mm fans in here. I should say 3 120s on the bottom, 2 120s on the back. In the top, you can also put 3 120s, or you can put 2 140mm, and of course we've got the 140mm on the back, which you can swap out for a 120 if you want to keep all of your fans the same. When it comes to mounting an AIO on the side in this 240mm mount, potentially you could do. The only thing to be concerned of is your radiator. You can have your tubes coming out either the top or the bottom, preferably the top, which may then interfere with fans on the top. So they haven't said specifically, yes, you can put a 240mm rad on there. I think you probably could. Just be wary about things coming out the top. Fans, if you're going to mount them on the top, may impede on the pipes. Something that I'm not entirely pleased about on this particular case is they've gone for the captive PCI Express blanking plates. Now this isn't the end of the world, they just pop out and you can replace them quite easily should you need to, but it would have been nice to have seen a case of this kind of price point to have all removable PCI Express blanking plates. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whilst we're in this front section, let's tip around to the side so you can see straight into there. So again, when you're doing your PC build, lots of really nice easy access to get to your components, your fans, your tubing, all that kind of stuff. Next we'll move around to the back, so this is pretty much standard layout, so ATX power supply in the bottom here, as you'd expect. You've also got your PCI Express blanking plates here, a little bit of ventilation on the side. Nice thumb screws on here, with a little washer on there as well. This flap comes outward, so you can tighten up your PCI Express expansion. And you've got your I/O section here, and of course you've got the ventilation here for the included CT140 ARGB fan, or you can put, like I said, if you want to, a 120 in there. There's mounts to give you both options. Moving around to the back, so now we can see the ventilation for the fan section. There is actually a mesh filter behind there, so you've got some actually quite close tolerance holes there, and also there is a magnetic filter behind there. And also they've got those really nice thumb screws again, with the little washers on there to help keep the back panel on, so just undo those. Again, toolless design, grab handle on the side and pull this backwards. Then this is removable and a little bit flexy, but not too bad at all. And then of course we've got our removable filter, should you wish to use it, which actually they've done a really good design here. So there's a little kind of folded over metal at the bottom, like a ridge, which should keep the magnetic filter in place. With that out of the way, we can see what is going on in the back here. So we've got a cavernous bottom section here, or basement section. Again, up to 220mm power supplies can be fitted in there. There is ventilation on the bottom as well. You've also got this nice whited cabling. Whited out this will be. Obviously, if you go for one of the other versions, then you'll get different colors in yours, but the black one obviously be black, etc, etc. And in terms of the front panel connectivity, let's go through what we've actually got here. So you've got your HD audio. You've then got a molded front panel connector. These are really great. I love this. The fact they're starting to do this on more of their cases now. So rather than having loads of individual pins, you've just got one block connector to connect up your reset switch, power button, hard drive LED, etc, etc. Also, you've got two cables going into the USB 3.0 connection. And really nice to see again at this price point is a USB Type-C front panel connector. If we put the cables out of the way, you can get a better look at the ventilation here on the back. So unfortunately, not quite deep enough here to put fans on the back side of it. So if you want to do some sort of push-pull radiator mount, then unfortunately you can't do that. Potentially, if you're into modding and you want to get a little bit more extra airflow for this section, which potentially could be set as intake, you could quite easily Dremel out this section here to leave it completely open. I think they've made a good decision there, leaving it with the kind of semi-transparent. So if you aren't planning on putting fans there, it doesn't look too bad. But if you are putting fans there, there's still plenty of airflow. But if you do want that extra airflow, feel free to get the Dremel out and get cutting. Also at the top here, you can see the cabling there for the included CT140 ARGB fan. You can daisy chain those, and of course, if you want to add more of the same to keep it all looking very uniform, those fans are actually really cheap and cheerful. You can get a whole bunch of them and daisy chain them together with the cabling. And also, if you want to, you can go for the new CT140EX or CT120EX, which actually have the magnetic connections in them to even further simplify the cable management. So pass-throughs at the top, no problem at all. When it comes to drives, so you can put a single 2.5-inch drive on this removable skid on the back there, put a drive in there. You've also got a removable mount at the bottom here, so you can put two 3.5-inch drives, one actually inside the mount and one on top of the mount. The top section can be used either for a 2.5-inch drive or a 3.5-inch drive. The choice is down to you. Also in this basement, we've got our owner's manual, and also we've got our accessories bag, which actually is very cool. And they've got some really nice features in there, such as there is actually a cloth to keep the glass nice and clean, which is a nice touch. Also, there is a BIOS speaker, so if you're having problems with your build and it's not working, you can use your BIOS beep codes to diagnose what is going on. And also you've got some really nice shiny screws and fittings there, all to match in with the rest of the build. Also included are some nice white cable ties to tie in with the rest of the white theme. Next, we'll take a look at the base section. So we've got the removable magnetic filter. Would have been nice to have seen one of those plastic pullouts, but this will do the job absolutely fine. And you can see there's a huge ventilation area there. So if you're using a larger power supply, it's going to be nice and easy to get cold, fresh air into it. The feet rise up off the desk around about 1 inch, so lots of air coming in underneath. And also you've got some thumb screws here to adjust that drive caddy. You can actually move the drive caddy backwards a little bit, so you can see the mounts there. Gives you about 1 inch or so's room if you wanted to put something in the front there. I think that's more of a throwback from a previous design possibly, or a future design, whether or not they're going to do a version with a mesh front, so you can actually put a 360mm rad in the front. Not entirely sure, but I think that would kind of hint towards that. Normally you'd move these cages back a little bit for front fans and front radiators. And next we can take a look at the top. So we've got a nice magnetic filter, color coded as you'd expect. And you can see here we've got loads of ventilation, nice circle vents there. You've got options for 120s in these first racks here, or 140s if you're using those. Again, 360 AIO can go in the top here very easily, or 3 120mm fans, or alternatively 2 140mm fans, depending on what you want to do. When it comes to the front panel I/O, so you've got a power button up front. Next to that, you've got a couple of LEDs for hard drive activity and power. Next to that, there is a reset switch, which is slightly recessed. You've then got a separate headset and mic jack. Like to see separate jacks on PCs. You've also then got a pair of USB 3.0 ports, and of course we've got our USB Type-C. Going back to the back section quickly, just some things going through my mind about this case and kind of design choices. I actually think they've done a pretty good job here. There isn't a huge amount of tie-down points in the back, and there's no obvious cable routing channel. But I like the fact that they've got these nice flat cables, so even if you are putting your fans here as intake or exhaust, because these are all quite nicely spaced out, it doesn't really matter if you cable tie them up or not, you can just leave them there. Air's going to find its way in through there, no problems at all. So I think that's actually a wise choice, rather than spending maybe extra money and extra tooling and actually making the case considerably longer or wider to fit in some kind of channel. I think that works out really nicely. So is this the perfect case? Well, I think we can pretty much answer that. Of course it isn't perfect, but actually I think it ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. There's very little to complain about. The build quality is exceptional, and even with the glass out, there's very, very little movement. I'm actually putting a lot of strain onto there, and it's not flexing at all. So it is built pretty much like a tank, despite the fact it only weighs around about 6 kilos, which you'd think would be kind of a little bit on the flimsy side, but actually no, it seems to be rock solid, which is awesome. And also very important for me, being that the PC is going to end up there, and I do abuse that PC quite often, moving stuff around, so that is really good. The fact you can put in an absolutely huge honking great graphics card in here of up to 420mm in length, I think is really good. And of course you can support it very easily with add-on brackets, etc. There's no obvious mounting option on here for putting in vertical mount for your GPU, which I think is a little bit of a shame. Again, going back to those PCI Express blanking plates being captive ones, the ones you've got to bend out, that's a little bit of a cop-out, I think, personally. Again, let me know what you think about it. I know it's not the end of the world and it's not an important thing in the grand scheme of things. It's just one of those nice touches which makes PC building and also PC case ownership that little bit easier. But I think overall they've ticked all the boxes there. I think it looks really nice. It's got a really nice compact size to it. It's got a very somewhat unique look, considering it is a kind of fish tank like case, which there's a lot on the market, but I think they've done just about enough to make it a little bit different from the others on the market, to give it that little bit of flair. And I actually especially like little touches like this Thermaltake logo, the USB Type-C that's built in, and also those really nice thumb screws, which goes towards a quality case, of which this certainly appears to be. Anyway, I've waffled on for way too long. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments section. And of course, if you want to see how the build goes in this, please do tune in to the live stream. You can watch the video on demand after, obviously get an idea of what's going on. This case will most likely end up being a replacement for the one we've got behind me here. So if you've got any comments or questions or anything going forward you'd like me to answer, then please do let me know in that comment section, and I'll do my very best to help you out. So I think that's going to pretty much wrap things up here. I'm actually quite impressed with the View 270 TG ARGB from Thermaltake. My only dilemma would have been really, do I go for a white one or do I go for a black one? Be nice to see another black case in the Mike's Unboxing household. I haven't done a black case for a while. They seem to be somewhat out of favour, but maybe we'll get another matching one to see how it goes. Anyway, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.